Welcome back to My Nana's Needles with Maggie. As you can see, we've finished our two pockets, our left and our right pocket squares. We need to attach them to the inner wallet wall. So I'm going to be starting up here and I'm going to insert the needle just like we've done in the past in the first hole. There we go. That was a little snug. And the second needle will go in the second hole. I'll take the pocket square and I'm gonna attach it the same way. The first needle will go in the first hole and the second needle, which has slipped down, will go in the second hole. I'll make sure that they're level. I will pull them through. I'll do one at a time this time because I'm working with multiple layers. I'll pull it through and I'll line them up, get them even. Okay, and we're just going to keep doing our saddle stitch just like we did. I'm going to hold this stitch out of the way and I'm going to put the first needle through, and it's wiggly because we're just getting it started. I flip it over and make sure it went through the second hole and I didn't skip any holes. So I'm going to pull this through and now I'm going to make this tight. Pull both sides, make it tight. Bottom needle comes back up through the next hole. Once this one comes up, we flip it off to the side and we bring this top needle through to the bottom. And we continue along this top stitch. We're going to do both pockets at the top and then in our next part, we will add the back. So I'm going to do one side, snug it tight. And we flip it over to find that hole, flip that out of the way, go back down through the hole. And again, we're going to snug it tight. We're going to continue along this path. Like I said in the previous video, you can buy a clamp that will hold these in place. I just like flipping them over, so I don't tend to use the clamp, but they do have them available. And as a note, as I was going through and prepping for the next part, Tandy sends you enough thread, excuse me, enough wax thread to make this project. However, it doesn't give you very much extra. So I would suggest if you purchase this product from Tandy that you go ahead and at the time purchase a little spool of thread to go with it. I think it's like $2.99 for the second spool of thread. That way you have extra should you want to use longer pieces just to be more comfortable. It gives you extra thread so you can make sure you can finish the project. And this will be finished by tomorrow for my son's Father's Day present. So, and as with all wallets I make, I add some money to it. Because what good is a wallet without money, right? And once you get in the routine or the rhythm of doing it, it's actually pretty easy and pretty quick. You just have to go with the flow and you get into the routine rhythm of stitching and tugging, and it does go pretty quickly. And as I say that, I miss the rhythm. It sometimes gets caught like that. You just untangle it and keep moving. Then when we get to the end of this, we're gonna do a new stitch. It's called an edge stitch, and it kind of locks two pieces of leather together so that it doesn't lift up and cause like the leather to fold or crinkle or anything like at an edge. So as soon as I get to that end, I will show you how we're gonna do the edge stitch. All right, we're coming up on the end. We got one more stitch, and then we'll do our edge stitch to lock this pocket top down. Okay, let's tug that. All right, now as you see here, we have a hole right here, and then we have a hole here. So we're going to go down, and then we're gonna lock it in right here. We're gonna do a wraparound that locks this edge to the back. One more stitch. And I'm doing the same stitch. I'm just going to do it a couple of times, if that makes sense. So like this goes here, and this will go down just like we did. Okay, and we've got that locked down, but we're not done. I'm gonna do it one more time. So this guy who's in the back is gonna come back up through, let me flip it over. He's gonna come back up through this hole, like we were back stitching, but we're not quite at the back stitch stage. Where did it go? I like when I'm working with the lighter threads, it's a little easier to see where the holes are. Here we go. All right, so I pull this one through, shift him to the side. Now I'm gonna go back down through this one, and doing so will give me a second stitch locking this in place. Now, before I proceed, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this one back up. He's gonna stay in the back. So we're gonna hold on to the one we're holding on to. We're gonna find our hole right there. We're gonna come back up through that hole. I'm gonna lay him to the side. Now I'm gonna grab him, and I'm gonna go through this one more time right here. And we're gonna lock this guy in place again. Now I'm gonna come back up through this third hole again, or this hole we were just using, except now we're gonna back stitch because we're locked in about 4 or 5 times there at that edge stitch. So he's in there nice and tight. So this was the back stitching I was talking about earlier. So I brought him up, I'm going backwards. I'm gonna go back through this hole. And this one's a little tight because we've gone through it a couple of times, so it's gonna be a little snug. Put the needle through. And this is where those pliers would come in handy, but I just keep pulling. All right, we're gonna snug this. Now I'm gonna go to the next hole, and we're gonna just go backwards, just like we had been doing. And there we go. We just keep working our way backwards. And I would do about 3, maybe 4 back stitches. And then I will seal it off. So there's one. Let's go, come on. There we go. This guy out of the way. Find my hole. Now, as you go back through the back stitching, it gets a little snug. So you just have to give it a little extra tug, a little extra force, because you've got more threads in those holes now, so it's a little tighter. And this is our second back stitch. And I think if we do, I would probably do 2 more. And then that will be finished. And then I can put the other side on so that we can prepare to do the back, the exterior piece of the wallet. One more, and then I will show you how I seal it off. And I tend to tie these in a knot once I get to the very back, just to make sure that they're, you know, snug together, and then when I heat them with the lighter, it melts them together so that they're not likely to come undone. Because this part of the wallet will be, there's my back. Now this one's gonna go through the next hole. I'm not gonna do, because I've done 4 back stitches, I'm gonna stop at that point, and I'm gonna bring my top thread to the back. Wiggle him out. Now I've got both threads on this side. Now because this is where my credit cards are gonna go, this part will attach to this part, and we'll be doing some folding because there's some room for the back of the wallet to fold. This is where you can put your bills, and it'll be unfinished. So I really want to make sure that these are snug and secured and melted together so that they're not likely to come undone as you're sliding your money in and out of your wallet. So let's snug that down, and I'll tie it again. And when your threads are long enough, you can leave your needles on, which makes it a little easier to grab a hold of. So then I can clip it off shorter, lay those to the side, grab my lighter, and I just hit it with the lighter, push it together. And you have to do it a couple of times. I didn't cut them short enough. Hit it with a lighter, push it together. Just make sure it's kind of melted together. And I just want it to form a knot, a melted knot. Let's make sure that that knot's still, yeah, it's still there. Okay. I'm just gonna hit it one more time and push it down. And as you see, because it's waxed, it's not burning, it's just kind of melting it. And then it's formed a nice knot that should not come undone. Should you do this and you don't secure it enough and the stitching starts coming out, because we've backstitched 4 times, it would probably just pull out 1 stitch and you would notice it. So then you could pull it back through, tie it down again, hit it with a lighter, and melt it back in place. So I will add my right side of my pockets for my credit cards, and then when we come back for part 4, we'll be adding the inside to the outside, and we will finish our wallet. Thank you. Have a good day. If you enjoyed yourself, please hit like and subscribe.